Hey guys, Anthony here, Bibles and Barbells. It is Thursday, May 28th, 2020. And I'm posting this video today, but I plan to do a more in-depth one either later tonight or tomorrow based on how much time I have. Just trying to wanted to get some videos, a fresh video out there. And so I'm filming this one here just to talk about a few things. One of the things I want to talk about is the success that socialism, communism, progressivism has had in the United States and how it has fundamentally changed our whole culture. It's been very, very successful. It's been in operation for years. I will post links, maybe not in this video, but the next video I do, so you guys could research and do your own, go back in time and do your own research on what the Soviets, the Chinese, what communism in general has done to our education system, to warping people's minds, to getting them to the point where you can shake the truth at them, show them the truth, grab them by the neck, show them all the 100% scientific facts, economic facts, just historical facts, and they still adhere to the ideologies that have been ingrained in their minds. So it's definitely a mental disorder, but it's a psyop. It's a psychological operation that has been going on. We've been letting it go on, and now we're suffering from this pandemic that has attacked us for the last 10 weeks, but that was 100% planned, let out or man-made in China, let out in China, but it would take several more videos to talk about who all else I think is involved in this. It's not just the Chinese. It was just released in China to start the wave that the globalists have been planning, to start the downward spiral of nations, of sovereign nations, to start the downward spiral, or the continued downward spiral, and the eventual discontinuing of the dollar and moving to another currency. We're witnessing this, guys, firsthand. We're witnessing this. And people in America looking at what's going on, people in America think we're going back to normal. Jobs are going to return when things open up. Unemployment is near 60 million, maybe even more than that. Almost half the country's not working. Checks are coming in to many people, but what happens when the checks stop? What do we see after that? What do we see when we know that up to 25% of restaurants may not open? Businesses are going bankrupt. Look at just the the Hertz rental car, and there's another one that just went bankrupt also just this week, with hundreds of thousands of cars on the market that creditors are going to be trying to liquidate to get their money. Look at the stock market being propped up by this administration. Look at the money and the wealth being transferred. How are things going to get back to normal? How is it possible? It's impossible. We are in a new paradigm, a new normal, as they call it, and they are not going to let up. The globalists are not going to let up. The blue state governors are going to keep this going on through the summer, into the election cycle, until they get their way. The mail-in ballots, the overthrow of the Trump administration, the final nail in the coffin, if you will. At this rate, and if they're allowed to get their way, I do not see Donald Trump being reelected in 2020. I just don't see it. Other people have called it differently. They think that because of all this, that Trump is going to win in a landslide. I have my doubts, let's put it that way. And furthermore, it doesn't matter whether Trump's in office or not. We're already plunged into this downward cycle that cannot be recovered. I mean, how are we going to recover from this? How is this going to get better? We're going to lose more jobs, more industries, more companies going bankrupt. And then look at the new marketplace we have to work in. Going out like to look at the theme parks. Who the hell in their right mind wants to go to a theme park, get thermal scanned, use a cashless monetary system that they deem you have to use, being checked and monitored? What happens when you walk through the thermal imaging at the Disney World or these theme parks and you got a temperature? Are you going to be whisked away to 2 weeks quarantine in the basement somewhere at the park? I mean, look at the contact tracers that are being hired to come out and go after people that they deem exposed. Look at the false positive tests that are happening. This game is rigged, guys. The game is rigged. You got people fighting and nearly killing each other for not wearing a mask in certain stores, people turning on one another, neighbors calling out neighbors, turning in neighbors. You think it's going to get better? This is by design. It's by design. They are conditioning. You know how when an athlete trains for a sport, they condition before the regular season starts. They're conditioning every day. They're building their bodies. They're conditioning. They're strengthening. This is what the globalists are doing, in essence, to us here. They're conditioning us very slowly over the years, but now much more, because the big game is getting ready to be played, and they have to have us fully conditioned for it to get through it. You understand what I'm saying? We are being and have been conditioned for this, and now we're being thrown all this unscientific, made-up bullshit that we have to live by and count as gospel, when in effect they're making it up as they go along to keep us in slavelandia, as Gerald Celente so aptly puts it. The economy's not coming back to the way it was. In fact, we're in a Great Depression, and it's going to get a lot worse as time goes on, as the money runs out. They're going to be ushering in a new monetary system. So get ready for that. You are being conditioned for that new system now. Schools are not going to reopen in the normal fashion. Colleges are not going to reopen in the normal fashion. In fact, college students is decreasing. Their enrollment in college is decreasing. They don't want to even go to a brick and mortar college. Many of them want their money back. Grade schools, pre-K through 12 schools, may be ushering in, an A-B team. Half the school comes till 12 o'clock. The other half comes from 12 to 3. I mean, what does that do to busing, to lunch, to parents that have to, go to work? And maybe they have 2 kids in 2 different grades that they have to get to school at 2 different times. I mean, this is going to cause havoc. How is this getting back to normal? Guys, we are in a serious, serious situation right now. You have to take stock on how you are going to be living 3 months, 6 months, a year from now. What is our lifestyle going to be? Are we going to have jobs? Am I going to have a job? Are you going to have a job? Are you going to be homeless? I mean, these are the things that I'm thinking about right now, that if it wasn't for my faith, I don't know what I would do. I know the Bible talks about these things are coming to pass, and we are experiencing them now. We are seeing the beast system being built. Look at this latest case in Minneapolis where the police officers, and I saw some of the video. I don't want to talk about it too long on this video, but it looks like they suffocated the man, the gentleman, Mr. Floyd, by putting a knee to the neck. Now, we don't know, or at least I haven't seen, all the facts leading up to that, what happened, what transpired, how he got on the floor. But, okay, if these police officers did this, and they're found guilty, and they're tried, and they suffer the consequences, that's how our system works. Our system doesn't work with the media fomenting violence and promoting it, and then the useful idiots going out and burning down their cities. That is not how this is done. It seems like they get us on this course, and they pick up on these things that they know divide us, which I talk about in my videos for years. Shootings, these types of things, where police do certain things. It fits the socialist communist narrative, and the media runs with it because they're not controlled by independent sources. They're controlled by the socialist left. They're the propaganda arm for the socialist left. And so they run with it, they get people going, and now they're allowed to burn down their cities. But when patriots go out with legitimate reasons, armed, to protest their constitutional rights being trampled upon, they're called white supremacists, usurpers, disrespecting the COVID virus protocol, deplorable, you name it. But people burning down their cities because of something are allowed to do it. The big bad police officers that are arresting people for not wearing a mask are just standing by and letting this happen. So how is that going to make it better for us? How are we going to become a better nation when the left focuses on division and civil unrest, which I said is coming? And this is how it's going to start. This is how it's going to start. They pick up on anything that divides and fits the narrative. Okay? Anything. They'll propagate it in the media, get all the crazy brainwashed people that watch the normal news to support it, and they'll fit the narrative, and they'll continually divide us. Meanwhile, governors are destroying cities in their states by keeping things closed. Suicide rates are raging. Planned Parenthood still killing thousands of babies a day. No outrage, no burning of cities. I can't burn my city down for that. Governors touting unconstitutional edicts. I can't burn my city down for that. Why? Doesn't fit the narrative. You get where I'm coming from, guys? You get what's going on here? Do you understand the implications of what's going on? Everything that's good and moral is cast aside, and anything that is immoral and then fits their narrative is being pushed. Where's the riots and the burning of the cities for all the hundreds of or thousands of nursing home patients that were sent to nursing homes to die and infect others? Where is that? Where's the outrage? Where's the... No, media doesn't run with it, just glosses it over, and nothing happens. And so the more they could get away with, the more they're going to get away with. The more they're allowed to get away with, the more they're going to push. This is the classic, go on my other videos, Cloward and Piven. These are communist rules for radicals, if you will. This is an agenda that these radical communists in our government follow. Presidents follow it. The last president, Barack Obama, followed it, was taught it, was brought up in that system. So why should we think that things can be good now when our system is infected? How does it get better? It gets better when people become unplugged and try to mobilize and let these leaders know in mass that we are not happy. And we have to let our collective voices be heard. And the dum-dums out there that are touting untruths, immoral behavior, promoting rioting, have to be put in their place. It's a broken system, guys, and it's not going to get better. It's not going to get better, it's going to get worse. As long as these devils are allowed to propagate this agenda, this globalist, totalitarian, communist agenda, it's not going to get better. In fact, we're probably at the brink of kinetic war very soon. Then what happens? What happens when there's rolling blackouts? There's food shortages. Unemployment checks run out. Social Security checks stop coming. Welfare checks, quick checks stop coming. What happens then? Unemployment checks stop coming. What happens then? Bad things will happen then. Very bad things. So when people are pushed to the limit and they have no other way, they will seek violence on an unprecedented scale, and most of mainstream America is not ready for it. That's why people are out right now buying guns and ammunition, because they know what's coming. They know if this situation is not stopped or curtailed in some way, or we just keep propping up the stock market and the rich keep getting richer, and those of us that are slaves the middle class just gets pushed out of existence. What's going to happen? New World Order is what's going to happen. You're going to wake up, like we've done recently, and you're going to be in a different world. There's going to be no dollar. There's going to be no cash in your bank account. It's going to be all digital. It's going to be digital or crypto. They're going to be tracking you everywhere, know your every move. Everywhere you go, your temperature will be taken. You'll be told when you could go to work, when you can go home, what you could do, and when you can do it. If they're allowed to get their way. So don't plan on things getting back to normal this summer. Plan on things getting worse this summer. Stay ready, guys. Anthony signing off. Let me know what you think. Your comments are very important.